There are actually a number of ways to do that. You don't feel like just because it's the holiday season, you have to toss your healthy lifestyle aside for all those delicious treats that you'll be baking over the holiday. For example, you can take some of the flours that you would use in baking things such as muffins or sweetbreads, and you can replace that with nut flours or whole grain flour that's going to offer more nutrients and more fiber as opposed to the all-purpose flour that you might use. Another baking trick is you can replace the processed white sugar, and you can use things like sucanate, which is actually evaporated cane sugar. And sucanate still retains its iron, calcium, B6, and potassium. So you're getting those nutrients. Things like agave nectar can replace corn syrup in just about anything. I use it in a pecan pie recipe, and it actually has a much better taste because it is a richer taste. And the agave nectar has a lower glycemic index than the corn syrup would have. So if you want to replace eggs in your baking to make your product vegan, or someone may have a food allergy that you're baking for, you can certainly do that pretty easily. Take a tablespoon of ground flaxseed meal and add 2 tablespoons of water to that, and that combination will replace each egg in your baking. Another thing that you can do in your baking is if you're making a graham cracker crust, rather than using the graham cracker crumbs, use ground almonds or ground pecans in place of that, and that offers a really, really great taste for your crust, in addition to adding fiber and many other nutrients in place of the graham crackers. If you'd like to reduce some of the oil in your baking, that's an easy fix too. You can replace half of your oil with the equivalent amount of mashed bananas or avocados or applesauce. You want to make sure that you do that in products such as sweetbreads or muffins. You want to avoid anything that might be light and fluffy because your texture is going to be slightly off. If you'd like to make your recipe non-dairy, that's a really easy fix. You can use milk such as coconut milk or almond milk in place of regular dairy milk. If you have a recipe that calls for sweetened condensed milk, you can take a full-fat can of coconut milk and take a 1/4 cup of agave nectar, honey, or maple syrup, mix that together, bring it to a boil, reduce the heat, let that simmer for 45 minutes, and you'll have the equivalent amount of about a can of sweetened condensed milk. If your recipe calls for buttermilk, you can use a non-dairy milk, add a tablespoon of lemon juice or vinegar, and mix that together and let that sit, and you've got buttermilk. One of the other things that you can do is, if dairy is a concern in your chocolate, there are a variety of different chocolate chips that are allergy-free and don't contain dairy. We also have chocolate that is sweetened with stevia and doesn't have any refined sugars in it as well. So whether you're cooking for someone with dietary restrictions or you just want to make your baking a little healthier, that's certainly easy to do with all the substitutions that I mentioned. And if you have any questions about anything, just feel free to come by the store. We'll be glad to help you out.